So before we move into the segment of Fireside Chat with Ragini, I just want to take you back to history. History of intelligence. In 1943, when researchers invented the first computer, which were programmable, which were digital, people were perplexed. There was a discussions around whether machine can think, whether machine can be intelligent, whether they can learn to become intelligent. That was really, really confusing people because intelligence were somewhere related to human that time. And then you have seen the movie Imitation Game. Imitation Game was all about the story of Mr. Alan Turing, a scientist, a mathematician, and a code breaker who has broken Enigma code, which was basically used by Nazi Germany during World War II. And he proven that machines can be intelligent. They can decipher languages which human can do or cannot do at times. So intelligence was something which Turing suggested is basically a behavior, external behavior of machines. So that means if a machine confuse you by their behavior and they treat you like a behavior from another human, then that particular machine can be treated as an intelligent machine. And that's how the germination of the thought of artificial intelligence started. That's how intelligence became part of research in different behavioral changes in machines. People started working on robots who will behave like human. People started working on chatbots who will behave like a CRM team. So it is like expectations of having some kind of human-like behavior from these machines. Now in this fireside chat with Ragini, we'll talk about the same in the industry fashion. And Ragini, the CBO of Fynd, who is specialized in AI-driven digital commerce, will share light on that particular aspect from her own experience. Ragini, welcome to the forum and this particular fireside chat.
Thank you.
As fireside chats are always very candid and very, very insightful. So I don't want to ask you very traditional questions.
Oh, wow, that's great. Very refreshing to know.
Yes. So Ragini, first of all, before we go to the question answer round, why don't you introduce yourself and tell about your journey and your involvement in this evolution of AI?
I think it's going to take more than 15 minutes for me to tell me about my journey. I'm Ragini. I'm the Chief Business Officer at Fynd. I look after the Commerce India business of Fynd, and we have, as all of you must know, that we are working a lot on retail and AI, and how can we merge both of them together without taking anyone's job, but ensuring that the timelines are shortened and the products are delivered faster to the customers.
Wonderful. So you are keeping it very brief and crisp. Okay. So now, as you are working in this industry, so before we move on to AI specific questions, why don't you share lights on the current hurdles industries face?
Sure. So, since we are in a fashion forum, I want to speak about the problems that retailers usually face, especially during sampling of a product. And today the topic is design as a service. Now, when we see of design as a service, there are long cycles, right? There's a long designing cycle. There's an approval cycle. Post that, there's a sampling cycle. Then we have catalog and photo shoots. Traditionally, it takes around 90 days for people to do this, from design to shelf. What we are trying to do at Fynd is actually going to reduce this timeline to 21 days. And we have actually done POC for a couple of brands, and they are available to shop offline as well.
Wonderful. And while we talk about fashion, it is the age of fast fashion, and the fashion fades away much faster than it arrives, right? So how AI can help there?
So the age of fast fashion, right? Now, what we are doing with design as a service at Fynd is we are ensuring that the timelines are reduced, right? That means you can have your design. You can, firstly, what we are going to do is we are going to understand the brand's guidelines, right? What is the mood board? What is the brand aesthetic like? who's your competitor. We do a lot of research. We do a lot of trend research. We use a lot of AI tools at multiple touch points. We do a lot of social listening, what the influencers are doing, what is the general trend in the market, and also cultural events. And mostly all of this is computed at real time. So when we do this, we sort of lessen the time it takes for a product to be developed. And the beauty of all this is it's actually sustainable. Now that's a two-way sword, but it's sustainable in the sense that sampling usually takes a lot of time, and the carbon footprint of a product is very much. So what we can do is we can design. We can give you a 3D overview of how your design is going to look or how your fabric is going to be crafted on a silhouette. After we do that, you can directly put it on your e-commerce website, right? Now that's easy because then you will know what is the demand of the people who are actually going to buy that product. Now when you do that, you know that, hey, this is a blue shirt, this is trending, people are going to buy it. So then you can give it to your manufacturer, and then because the fabric and the tech pack is already ready, it is going to be delivered to the customer very fast. So yeah, so that is going to be fast fashion for you. But it is not fast fashion, it is essentially a lot of designs which are going to be in front of the consumer, but only going to be developed post the consumer liking it.
But if everybody uses AI and do this kind of designing based on the data available, so how the human element will play X factor over here?
So AI will not take away human jobs. There is always a human loop involved, and we have to understand this. Even when we launched design as a service, we got a backlash from our designers saying that, hey, you're taking my job. So what we actually made them understood through various workshops, and this is for all the brands who are looking to do this, is we actually told them how AI can actually help you understand the aesthetics, the guidelines of the brands faster and in a more efficient manner. Your designs are going to be not something which is like, hey, this is what I wanted to do, so I've designed this. It is going to be more about what is trending, the market research that we have done because of that, right? So, and I always say this, when you design via AI, it's always 90% is the designer's intuition and 10% is AI, right? So we have to keep that in mind when we are talking about AI.
So that means that human angle is still there, and
always human has to be
play a pivotal role as ever, right? Maybe more sophisticated role than ever.
Absolutely.
So they will not think in a traditional way. Probably they will think about the competition.
Yes.
And then they will create the garments. So can AI really create a garment?
AI is not going to create any garment for you unless you give the right kind of prompts, right? So this is very, very important for all of us to understand. Your brand has a mood guideline. Now, a baby brand won't be doing a neon yellow or a neon orange, right? They will be very pastel colors because recently I became a mother and I came to know the nuances of dressing up a baby, right? So you have your brand colors, your aesthetics, your fabric. What are the buttons that you're going to use, right? So it's not going to be AI generated. Your past sales data, your customer engagement, the trends that is there in the market, what do you as a brand want to portray is what we want to serve, right? So the first input that we actually take is the brand guidelines. And post that, we discuss on designing, then sampling, then 3D, then your tech packs, and then comes the sampling and photo shoot and cataloging.
Wonderful. And when you are talking about, taking this thought to shelf, and there are different generations who have different choices, right? Now we have Gen Zs who are very, very instant gratification lover, and there are generation like us who has some traditional choices. So how AI will differentiate them? How you are helping this kind of different segments?
So what we are doing here is we are creating designs on the go, right? Now, just to give you an example, we closed a brand, and I cannot take the name, unfortunately. I've been told so by my team. But we did 138 designs in just 4 days. And that was AI generated along with our designer's input. And we completed this design cycle in 3 days, and 45 out of those designs are actually there for you to shop, right? So what we are doing is we are trying to understand the brand perspective. What is the brand aesthetic like? Once we know that if it's a Gen Z brand, we know that we have to produce design faster. If that is a baby brand, we understand that the design cycle needs to be something which is very sorted, which doesn't redefine what the brand stands for, right? So we understand the customer segment first, as I mentioned, and then go about designing process, not the other way around.
Yeah, And this actually injects one idea in my mind. So when you are talking about that, you don't go away with the brand ethos, right? So now every brand stands for something.
Absolutely.
So you have touched upon sustainability, but there are some brands who has some kind of templatization as part of their process. So how AI differentiates brand A versus brand B?
See, when we are taking all of this data from brands, right, it is the IP of that particular brand, right? The IP is embedded in the design. So when the designing is done and we go for photo shoot, which is again can be AI generated. Now, today only I was speaking to someone who told me that they paid 10,000 rupees for a photo shoot, while what we can do at Fynd is just take your garment, either a flat lay or, and we have done this for a brand who's selling on Saks Fifth Avenue, New York right now, where we just took the photo of the product and then made the entire photo shoot and catalog. Though the models, whenever it comes to AI photo shoot, the models, the IP is not ours, right? Because this is used worldwide. But the IP of the brand stays with the brand. So the design, post, the prompts are of the brands, not Fynd's and not anybody else's. So we ensure that that happens, and we have embedded that technology that one design cannot be copied by another.
Okay. So as guys, we are seeing Q-commerce. What I'm feeling after talking to Ragini, we'll have Q designs. Like we'll just like one design and we'll just ask AI.
Absolutely.
We'll design, and in 10 minutes, the cloth is with you.
So just giving you an example of the Coldplay concert, I'm sure everyone here is aware that India had a Coldplay concert. Right now, there was a demand, and I read a lot of places that we want Coldplay t-shirts. Now, if a brand wanted to come to us and tell us that, hey, can you design Coldplay t-shirts for us? We could have done that in a jiffy and it could have been sold out.
Wonderful. This is a novel idea. So thought to shelf, so you have covered, you have covered, but
So,
as a Fynd, what are the roadmap looking like?
So our roadmap is that we want to streamline and digitize each and every process that a retailer has to go through, be it tech packs, right, which is, again, everything is written on paper and sent it. So we want to digitize that. We want to digitize how a model is, how a particular piece of clothing is going to look on a model. And we can do that by our 3D designs that we have. And post that, we are going to go for photo shoots, because I know that is also a lengthy process. So just send us your images and we will just process it in a day or two. And then we have something which we have recently launched, which is AI catalog. Now here what we are doing is we take your image, we take your garment image, and then we insert it in our AI models. And through a couple of attributes that you give us, we can generate an entire PDP. So we're actually at booth A1. So if you want to see the demo, you can go and see there. Apart from this, we have also launched try-ons. So we have lipsticks, we have watches, we have makeup, and that's going really well for us.
I was going to touch upon on the personalization front.
Yes.
So when you are talking about cosmetics and in this color, so how smart your AI is to understand.
For that, you have to come to our booth and try it out, right?
So you are saying you are giving you 100 out of 100, huh?
Yeah, why would I deny that?
That's nice. So we have 2 minutes left. So I want to end this conversation with a quick rapid fire.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yep.
So you cannot take your brand's name when I talk about that.
That will be a folly. My founder is just sitting right there.
But you have to please mercy her for this.
Okay.
So you have to tell what's your favorite commerce platform, and you cannot take Fynd's name.
So it depends. See, we work with a lot of brands. We work with Ecommerce, we work with Vinculum, we work with Shopify. So I think I love all of them for different technology that they play a part of.
You have to choose one.
I think Shopify is doing great. Okay, I think Shopify, yeah, for storefronts.
Okay, wonderful. Who is the difficult segment, Gen Z or millennials?
I don't want to be in the news tomorrow, so I think everyone is good as long as they are buying and purchasing from us.
You have to choose one. You have to choose one.
I think millennials know what they want. Okay. Gen Z are a bit...
know? You are saying they don't know?
Millennials know what they want.
Gen Zs don't know what
they want. They like quick commerce, so different segment, different. I won't choose one.
Not choose.
No.
Okay. Revenue or innovation?
Always revenue combined with innovation. I don't sell anything for free. That's my motto.
Living in present or betting for the future?
With what recently happened with DeepSeek, I think we have to stand somewhere in between. While we develop what we do, we have to go back and always reorganize our thoughts and understand that somebody else can come and replace us very soon.
Okay, and that's what the last rapid fire. AI or human? Who will you choose?
I will always choose humans. AI is just a byproduct of that.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, guys. So we have got a very good insights from Ragini, but as she said, the journey is far from over.
Right.
So why
It's
don't
just the
you
beginning.
tell something as a concluding note to the audience and, you know,
I think it's high time that retailers and all our friends start thinking about AI as a help rather than going old. And like I know that for a fact that we have been talking about omnichannel for the last 8 years, but when we go to the India market, we see a lot of unorganization there. I think it's high time we organize ourselves and become the forefront, at least in retail, all over the world through AI.
So basically AI is an enhancer in that
Right,
way.
absolutely.
It's not a replacement. That's what she wants to say.
Right, absolutely.
Any question for Ragini? Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Ragini.
Hi.
I'm Roma. I'm a brand manager. I'd recently been to the Viva Tech in Paris last year, and I found out how L'Europeana is using AI and technology to actually identify the consumer's size. And I want to ask you, how do you think that's going to work out? And do you think there's a possibility to experiment with that in the Indian market? And do you think that's scalable? Especially with e-commerce and quick commerce being something, and one of the major difficulties that e-commerce platforms face is returns, and sizing being one of the main factors of returns. How do you think we could connect them, or how do you think it's going to play out?
So I think that's great, but we also have to see the category that L'Europeana is doing sizing on, right? Now, traditionally, Indian sizes are not the same as European sizes, right? So that is one thing that I think a lot of our retailer brands have sort of identified. What we need to do, we need to take immense amount of data for Indian consumers, because my waist size in Zara is very different from my waist size in Calvin Klein. Just giving you an example, right? So when you take all these data, you have to see the touch point, you have to find a middle ground, and then feed that data into the system and then say, hey, like I'm a shopper of Myntra, right? And they usually tell me that, you know, for this brand, M will be a better size, and for this brand, L will be a better size. So it depends on the amount of user data that we have, the amount that we are feeding on AI, again, all ensuring that the privacy is maintained. And post that, we go into that category and sort of start thinking about how to reduce returns, and you know, a lot of brands are now giving coupons as well for not returning, right? So maybe that is always going to be an enhancing process. I hope that answers your question.
Another question from the back side.
Time's up. I think this is going to be a last one.
She has to catch a flight.
Hello.
I do actually.
Hi. So just on the same lines where you mentioned, like, you know, you help create catalog images, right? I kind of bumped across someone yesterday where, not sure of the brand, Streamoid or something, where they kind of do the same thing what you guys are doing in terms of AI cataloging, right? So moving forward, AI is growing at a very rapid pace. So how are you planning to, like, you know, keep your competitors away?
So we actually have a separate research group at Fynd where we are continuously monitoring what is happening around. I gave the example of DeepSeek, right? So this happened, and now the industry is suddenly like, hey, OpenAI was charging so much, and now DeepSeek is charging lesser. What we are trying to do at Fynd is going to reduce the cost. So our motto is ensuring that the retailers reduce their cost when it comes to photo shoot, when it comes to AI catalog. And AI catalog that I mentioned right now is a very small part of what we are doing. We're actually building an AI PIM, right? So your image transformations, your attributes, your A+ content, everything can be generated at one place with one click of a button. So that is where we are heading with AI PIM. It's just a small idea, and then it goes and burgeons into multiple categories.
Thank you. I'm sorry, but like I didn't even know this existed until yesterday. So that's why I kind of like.
No worries. We are glad you came to know
Awesome.
about
Thanks,
it.
Sandip.
You should attend more such sessions.
I will.
Thank you so much. So we are
Thank you.
done.
That has been our time. I hope you guys had a good time listening to us.